Joining us now, a good friend and our Heat insider, Ethan Skolnick from 5 Reasons Sports. And Ethan, I know for the past 24 hours, Heat Nation rehashing what happened in that first round series. But let's get to it. How far can the Heat go with their two stars, Bam and Jimmy? How far can they take them?
Well, I think it matters what the supporting cast is, right? Because the thing with Jimmy and Bam is they're unusual top two players because they're not elite shooters. In the modern NBA, there's very few really good teams that don't have an elite shooter among their top two. Jimmy is not that. Bam is not that, although I think Bam can develop into that, but a lot of that is confidence. So for Bam and Jimmy to be the top two guys, they have to have elite shooting around them. And the reality is, this season they really didn't, which put more of a burden on them. And then when Bam wouldn't take shots in the first round series, it was a big, big issue.
You know, after yesterday's loss, I heard Bam talk about, and also Butler, now we regroup. But, you know, one of the pressing issues for the Heat will be restricted free agents. What do they do with Duncan and Nunn?
Well, Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn are the two primary restricted free agents. I think Duncan Robinson could get a significant offer on the market. You know, again, we talk about premium shooting. He's a premium shooter, but also he wasn't on the court at the end when they really needed him. He didn't play particularly well in that playoff series. And although he has made strides in other areas like defensively and ball handling, he's not at a high level in those areas either. I think they let him explore the market possibly. I do think that they bring him back if the price is right. Kendrick Nunn, I think they're going to let walk. I think Kendrick Nunn in this particular free agent market, when you take a look at how few guys there are, he's going to get a significant offer that it may not make sense to match. So I think Duncan Robinson likely stays. Kendrick Nunn, I think, likely goes and plays for another team and starts elsewhere.
And I like saying a flying Nunn, by the way. All right, there was a lot of hype with this, but Victor Oladipo, he had some injuries. Is he still an option now?
I mean, he's still an option, but it's going to have to be on their terms. I mean, they knew when they got him that there were previous injury issues. Everybody knew the situation, but for it to happen 4 games in, and now he's not going to be back until at least November, I think that's probably conservative. So he wanted a maximum contract. He's not getting anything close to that. Could they give him an exception? Possibly, but he's going to have to come in on their terms. He said he wanted to be here. We knew he wanted to be here. Now we'll see how badly he wants to be here.
I know he's older, but what is the status of Goran Dragic?
Here's the key thing to understand with Goran Dragic. Jimmy Butler doesn't want to play without Goran Dragic, and Jimmy Butler is going to be consulted on a lot of the decisions that are made this offseason. So I think Goran likely returns, but if he asks for too much, again, it may be somewhere else.
All right, Ethan, we enjoy having you. Don't go anywhere. We'll have more on the Heat's future coming up. We are back with Ethan Skolnick from 5 Reasons Sports. Let's get back to it, Ethan. The Tyler Hero we saw in the bubble, everyone admits it. I think you've seen it. He's not the same player we saw this season. Will the Heat make Tyler Hero available in a trade?
I think everybody is available in a trade this offseason except Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. They're going to rebuild this core around those two guys. Now, look, is Tyler Hero still an asset to the Heat? Absolutely. He needs to get stronger. That's something that they wanted him to do this season, was get into the weight room. Obviously, what happened at the start of the season, trying to make him a starting point guard of sorts, didn't work. They put too much on his plate, too much for a guy who didn't have enough of a break in the offseason. I think they'll make it simple for him. If he's here, just get him back to catch and shoot stuff and creating that way without having to set other guys up. But yes, he will be available. They're all available. They got swept in the first round. It's Jimmy, it's Bam, and it's everybody else.
That's why we love you. You cut to the chase. All right, who are the premium free agents the Heat will target this summer?
Well, I think the number one guy, and this is not how it was supposed to go, targeting another point guard in his mid-30s, but I think it's Kyle Lowry. And again, I get back to this. It's about Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry are best friends. Kyle Lowry was almost here. Obviously, that didn't work out because Masai Ujiri, the general manager of Toronto, didn't want to give him up. But Kyle's a free agent. I don't think he's going to stay in Toronto. I think he's the number one guy that will end up here, and they'll have a real point guard in their starting lineup to set up those guys.
You know, I was wondering in Game 4 if we see UD, he did not play. Has he played his last game for the Miami Heat? And he was clearly frustrated with his teammates, even threw that chair.
Yeah, he did throw a chair. Good for UD. Somebody needed to throw a chair. You know what? We've asked the same question for the past 7 years. I'm guessing UD's playing until he's 75.
Nice.
Unless we hear otherwise. And I will say this, and this is a sad commentary on the season, Mike. The 3 minutes that Udonis Haslem played are the 3 minutes that I'm going to remember from the 2021 Heat season. That's how it went.
Well, I can guarantee you this. I will not be here until I'm 75. So thank you, Ethan.
No problem. Yeah, we might be.